Hello and welcome to WPAT Radio 970 on your AM dial, live to over 10 million homes in the New York City greater metropolitan area. And the signal goes sometimes all the way up to Massachusetts. Welcome. And today on WPAT Radio, we are highlighting a new author, an author actually that has written 9 books. Nicole Scarano, NicoleScarano, NicoleScarano.com. And today is a release day, the release day of her book, Autopsy of a Fairytale. And she got the idea of an autopsy of a fairy tale from, she wrote a note and forgot it for years. The note said, what if fairy tales were murder mysteries? So that's exactly what she did, and that's where this book came out of. This book is available, as you can see, on Amazon right now. It's today's the release day. It's only $2.99 this week. Next week it goes up to $3.99. And buy your copy today. Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. It's a Beauty and the Beast mystery romance. Suspense. It's like a dark mystery, and it's Beauty and the Beast meets Criminal Minds in a murder mystery romance suspense. It's got everything. It's Criminal Minds, it's murder, it's mystery and romance. And here's some background on the actual book. After an attack on the job, homicide detective Isobel Bell Emerson takes her dog and moves to the small town of Bajka in search of less stressful life and career. Sounds familiar? Very familiar to Beauty and the Beast. But the quaint town's peace is disturbed when a local furniture designer is murdered. My goodness. And his body is posed to look like a human chandelier. Thrust back into the fray, Belle must now confront her personal demons as she begins to investigate an impossible case. How could this happen? And as bodies turn up into household objects start to pile up, so more and more objects pile up. Remember the story, but they look like furniture, household objects. All clues point to the reclusive millionaire who just bought the abandoned mansion at the end of the town. Sounds familiar? Yes. Iman Stone, love that name, is as dangerous as he is handsome. Belle can't shake the feeling there's more to his presence in Bajka than meets the eye. Something about him is familiar. And while she knows he's a threat, she can't fight his pull. Like a moth to the flame, she's drawn to the man that's actually stalking her, oh boy, and to the only murder suspect they have. And Belle fears he craves her blood as much as she craves his presence. Oh, wow. Anyway, she fears he is evil hunting in town. The beast is hunting her. It's loosely inspired by Beauty and the Beast. Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. I love that title, Autopsy of Fairy Tale. And we're on the Amazon link right here. And here's a picture of the cover. Well, I'll zoom on the cover so you can get a better look at it. And it was previously published as a Kindle, but has been transformed to be read as a book and includes never before seen crime scene sketches. I wish I could show you, but this is a very fun book because there's many photos, many chapter headings, many pictures in here describing how it goes on. So it's just a very fun book. But Autopsy of a Fairy Tale is going to be a series by Nicole Scarano at NicoleScarano.com. You can get there. We're going to show you all of the other books she's written, but right now we're talking about A Beauty and the Beast, a murder, mystery, romance, suspense. And each book for each season will be a new crime, okay, all under the auspices of Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. But the overarching story of Belle, Iman, and Cerebus, the dog, will weave through the series and end on slight cliffhangers. My goodness. If you would like to read along, you may read the next book on Kindle Vella, or you can wait for the book and the fun bonus art. Believe me, the art is phenomenal in this book. It's a lot of fun. It's very easy reading. This is a darker crime series, so I'd like to take the opportunity to say that some crimes would be violent and some crimes might be a little bit unusual. Rest assured, no S&A, none of that stuff, but it's not a cozy mystery, so to speak. So how will it be romance? Well, there will be romance because there is a love story, as you know, the story of Beauty and the Beast. The romance will be PG-13. Think of Vampire Diaries, Grey Anatomy. The book Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. It's the Beauty and the Beast story. The author, Nicole Scarano, at NicoleScarano.com, wants to point out that while she did research in crime scene investigations, she's going to be speeding up some of the processes, for effect. She set the story in a fictional town. Okay, Bajka means fairy tale, fable, story in Polish, Bajka. Bajka. So I can take liberties, so she can take liberties with some of the processes and police structures. Plus, with the fairy tale element, she wants the freedom to bend the rules of nature. Here's a picture of Nicole and her pit bull right there. And her pit bull's name is China. Cerebos exists because of you, my love. There's the author, Nicole Scarano, and what she had to say about this book. Now, here is some of the inside art for some of the books. This is a lot of the books will be very interesting along these lines. Some great art. The chapters will be broken up just like this. And here's a sample chapter that you can go to when you go to Amazon and see the sample chapter, some information there. So it's really, it's quite interesting book, Autopsy of a Fairy Tale, a Beauty and the Beast mystery. The beauty meets the beast in a small town. Sounds familiar? It is. So please go to NicoleScarano.com, and that's going to take you here. Okay. This is her Linktree address, but to get there, it's NicoleScarano.com, NICOLE Scarano.com. And as you can see, she's written, well, believe it or not, 9 books. There's 9 books that she's written. We've looked at Autopsy of Fairy Tale. That's first in the series. Nicole likes to write series. She also writes novellas, romance. So let's take a look at one. So this is X Marks the O's, a Valentine's Day romance novella. Here's a picture. Let's take a look at the picture there. Let's go back here and just take a picture. X Marks the O's. It's written by Nicole Scarano. There's the art. You can see some of his weapons there. He's got a bow. He is Cupid. That's what's interesting. This is, remember, what started this whole thing? What if the fairy tales were murder mysteries? That's where we're at. And this is another book, part of the series, X Marks the O's by N.R. Scarano, which means it's a little bit of a romance, more romantic. And she has a number of different chapters. And the book is written by N.R. Scarano, which means it's romantic. Anytime that it's not Nicole, it's not a romance. But every time it has Nicole, it's a romance. It's not romance, but NR means it's romance. Just the way she has 2 different code names, whatever, when she's writing. It's meant for mature audiences. Okay, please just go to Nicole Scarano, NICOLE SCARANO.com. Buy her books. The one that got released today for $2.99 is, believe it or not, Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. And this is a different book, X Marks the O's. You can go and investigate that. Here's the picture again, the motorcycle, and it's Cupid. It says some of the chapter art. And you can go to Amazon, actually read a chapter. So I want to highlight here, there are 9 books that Nicole has written. The one that's being taken today, released today, is Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. It is the story of Beauty and the Beast. But I want to highlight this series, which just blew my mind. This is phenomenal. It's called the Pomegranate series. This is a fantasy series, and it's a 3-book series, and it's a retelling of the Greek gods, and it's also a little bit of a what they call a gender swap, because Hades, the god of the underworld, is female, not male. Here is the cover art to Pomegranate, which is the first of 3 books. And I'm telling you, this is deep. It's very detailed. If you like Game of Thrones, you're gonna love this. Because it's a very involved. All legends are born out of truth. All fairy tales have slivers of facts buried in their history. And today, what is known as a mere myth was once real. As stories are passed down through generations, facts are exaggerated and admitted into what was a simple tale becomes a fantasy. But if you dig deep, all legends have an origin. And while many tales are rooted in truth, there is one true story that has all been forgotten. And so begins the tale of Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, and the Titan parents, and all the wickedness that comes through it. And it's very involved detail. If you like fantasy, if you like detailed books, you'll love the Pomegranate series. The first book in the series is called Pomegranate, okay? And what it is about, history tells that Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, the 3 ruling brothers of Mount Arius, but the history is mistaken. In the beginning, Hades was not a god, but merely an immortal woman. And that's where we got the little bit of the swap from Hades being not a male, but a female. She falls into the underworld and she becomes an absent god, which is really interesting. So each book is roughly 300 pages. Pomegranate is the first in the series. Strongly recommend it. I found it very, very interesting. So that was the first in the series. Let's go to the second of the series, which is called Pitchfork. Okay, it's part of the Pomegranate Book 2, which is available on Kindle, hardcover, and paperback. Please go to Nicole Scarano, Nicole, Scarano.com, and you can see all 9 of her books. We're talking about Pitchfork, which is book 2 in the 3-book series. So we've gone through the first book, which talks about Hades, but the Oracle of Delphi in the second book prophesies the words in the dead of night. The first have come, and they shall seek the last. And there is a battle scene in here that will blow your mind. It did. It just was so well thought out. It's a big time page turner because it talks about prophecies, nightmares, battles, life and death. The evils of the underworld are no match for what is coming. So this takes you through the second part of the 3-book series, Pitchfork, which is Pomegranate Book 2. Again, this series, this trilogy is just amazing. And the last is Pandora. And Pandora takes you, don't want to give away too much, but takes you into another realm, another dimension. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I don't want to give anything away, but it's there's a switch that keeps you so attached to the story that you'll be surprised so much is going on, and you'll say, wow, this is amazing. So the third book, Pandora, Pomegranate Book 3. So what is it about? Well, snow never falls on Mount Olympus. Never happened before, but over a sudden it comes, ice forms, and something is wrong. So it blocks everybody but Hades from entering. Remember, she's a female. and she goes through and she enters something really shocking. I'm not going to give it away, but it's cruelty, it's ice, it's death, it's dangerous, and the enemy is just trapping her, cutting her off from everybody she loves. It's a tremendous story of getting back together and fighting against evil. Book 3 of the Pomegranate series, Pandora. Pandora is book 3. So the 3 books are book 1, Pomegranate. Book 2 is Pitchfork. Book 3 is Pandora. Now, we've only gone through 4 of the 9 books that Nicole's read, but I want to move to the, I want to move to, there are only 4 because this is also going to be a 3-book series. Right now, she's finished just the first 2, but they are, people are writing to her, begging her to finish this. There are only 4. Let's take a look at this. There are only 4. Let's go back to the picture. And it's like a maze there, and people going into the maze, and there is some serious stuff going on in that maze. Mother, if you're reading this, I love you. Today's the day. Today is our turn. Today we run, and if we win, we finish the maze. We are free. We get out. Today is the day. If I win, I am free. I sit on the edge of a lumpy mattress. My bare toes touch the freezing concrete. The rooms here are small, just a bed welded to the wall, a sink and a toilet. It's exactly how I imagined prison would feel. This is a female talking, and it's really interesting that the hero of this is a female, and yet this is where they house us, the children running the maze. I am one of the older competitors at 17, but there are many younger ones. I don't understand why they treat us like criminals. So this is the first in the series of like a maze. There's a picture of the chapter headings. You can read a sample chapter there. But there are only 4, the first in the season, first in a 3-book series. And we go to the second book in the 3-book series, which is There Was Only One. Now, do you see what happened there? There was only 4. Now there is only 1. Something happened. Let's take a look at this cover, which is a little bit different. We can see there's only 1. And that person's holding a gun in the light there. Pretty ominous, pretty interesting. And what has happened, just to be honest with you, people have read this book, are begging for book 3 to see, they want to see what happens to the protagonist. Again, today is the release date of Autopsy of a Fairytale. Today's the release, $2.99, today only, for a week. Buy it on Kindle. Next week is $3.99. You can also get the paperback or the hardcover. NicoleScarano.com, NicoleScarano.com will take you to our Linktree account, and you can see all 9 of her books. So we're going through all 9 of her books. This is the second in the 3-book series. She's actually written 2 series. She's in the process of reading the 3rd. The 3 series are Pomegranate, which is complete. There was only 4. Then there's which is going to have 3 books. She's written 2 of them already. There's only 4. Then there's only 1. And then the last of the 3 series is going to be There Were None. And now she's beginning a whole new series, which is going to have more than 3. The Autopsy of a Fairytale, which the genesis of this idea came years ago when she wrote something in a book saying, what if fairy tales were murder mysteries? That's where that came from. So today, please purchase Autopsy of a Fairytale, $2.99. It's available on Amazon, and you can go and purchase it there. And you can see all her books at NicoleScarano.com, NicoleScarano.com. So this is There Is Only One. This is a continuation from There's Only 4. And let's see what has happened. This is the next round of the game, and it's not held in the maze, but in the jungle. So things go faster, they get intense, and it's a survival dystopian series. The competitive archives, perfect for fans of, if you like Squid Games, if you like the escape room, if you like Hunger Games, You will love the series. There is only 4. There's only one. I'm going to call the series There Was Only. There's all 3 books under those names. So those are the series that she has out now: Autopsy of Fairytale series, the Pomegranate series, and There Was Only series, which is not all of her books she's written, which is interesting. She has also done the Alpha Initiative. I love this picture, by the way, by Nicole Scarano. Nicole Scarano, like wow. And what is the Alpha Initiative? Well, what it is our world is swiftly becoming uninhabitable, okay? But there are still hope for mankind, hope in the form of the Alpha Initiative. Humanity is on the brink of extinction, but the Alpha Initiative has discovered a distant planet compatible with human life and it's mankind's last hope. But only if you're fortunate enough to win the lottery. Oh my goodness. So for Jaya and Sia winning the lottery, and I'm maybe pronouncing it wrong, escaping poverty is a pipe dream, but by a stroke of luck, they both win a coveted spot aboard Alpha 22, the newest state-of-the-art ship destined for the Alpha colony. They will travel through space in cryosleep until they reach their destination in their new lives. But they wake too early, and the ship is hurtling through space. As they race to discover what was wrong, there's a lot of dark secrets that are uncovered. So this is another one of the 9 books that she has written. You can follow Nicole Scarano on TikTok. Here's her TikTok link, and you can also follow, it's Nicole Scarano Author. Sign up for her newsletter. Follow her on Instagram. We're going to go to her Instagram account, which is Nicole Scarano Author, fantasy, sci-fi, romance author. So that's what she does. There we go for that, for Nicole there. And she does book formatting. If you need your book formatted, contact her. Go to NicoleScarano.com. And you can see, here's another one I missed. I want to talk about this as part of the whole series of Autopsy. Wreck the Halls, which is more of a romance. So Wreck the Halls, and look at this picture. So Wreck the Halls. Santa Claus, that's Santa Claus there. It's a holiday series. And what is it about? Well, what's about is what if Krampus and Santa were mortal enemies and exes? Interesting. Krampus and Santa, 2 different people. So that's what Wreck the Halls is. Not Deck the Halls, Wreck the Halls. I love that name. And it covers centuries, Santa against Krampus, but they were both, I guess, fallers at one time. Really interesting. So those are the 9 books that we're talking about: Cinderella, X Marks the O's, Autopsy. But today I want to highlight, I want to close on this, go back to today's the release date, Autopsy of a Fairytale. Hey, what if all the fairy tales were murder mysteries? That's what it is. So if you go to NicoleScarano.com, you'll be able to see all her books there. And this is Autopsy of Fairytale as being released today, March 14th. Beauty and the Beast mystery, where people are killed, and when they are murdered, they turn into furniture. Interesting. Okay, a little twist on the actual story, inspired by Beauty and the Beast. It's a fairy tale, it's a crime, romantic suspense, perfect for those who like darker fantasies, murder mysteries, like The Killing or Hannibal, or people that like romance, found family, a hint of fantasy. And it's part of the series she's going to be coming out with. Come from the background of the simple things she wrote in a book one time. What if fairy tales were murder mysteries? So today is the day it was released. Please go to NicoleScarano.com. And here is the book that's being released today, Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. There are many, many pictures in the book. There are chapter headings with photos. It's a very easy read that I suggest you go there. So Autopsy of a Fairy Tale is available on Nicole Scarano's website, which is a LinkedIn site, which is NicoleScarano.com, as you can see here, NicoleScarano.com, and the book Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. And it's after an attack, a homicide detective, Belle, takes a dog and goes to a small town in search of quiet. Doesn't work out that way, because when she gets there, there's a murder. But what's really weird is that the person that's murdered is made to look like a piece of furniture, because he was murdered in the furniture store, which is kind of unusual. But it's, you know, the story of Beauty and the Beast, but it continues from there. It's dangerous, but there's also mixed in here mystery and romance. So there's a lot going on here in the book Autopsy of a Fairy Tale, which is being released today. It's available on Amazon. Go there, Autopsy of a Fairy Tale. You can search for it on there on Amazon, or you can find it by going to NicoleScarano.com and going to her Linktree page. So thank you all for joining us today from WPAT Radio 970 on your radio dial. And go out today and purchase Autopsy of a Fairy Tale, a retelling of the Beauty and the Beast story as a murder mystery and a romance story. Thank you all for listening. Go out and buy this book, NicoleScarano.com. Thank you and good day.